Hola o bienvenidos a nuestra clase por lección número 4. Hey guys, we're going to start lesson number 4 today. We're going to stay with the standard Old Testament story, New Testament story, 10, 11 vocab words each, and I want you to listen to the story and see if you can pull them out. There will be about 5 words that we'll review from the previous lesson that will be in your story today. So this will be a reminder, and it'll be great because you'll hear them in the story and you'll kind of build upon them. See if you can pick them out also while picking out your new vocabulary words as I read aloud. So first let's go over our new vocab and then I'll read the story. We'll start with trace. That's number 3 in English. What about third? Trasero. Serpiente. Serpiente. Serpent, just like it sounds. Why aren't we learning all the animals together, you might wonder? Well, for me, as I learned a new language, it was really hard when we would get groups of vocabulary words naming body parts or animals, because I would be talking to my friend or my mom and say, hey, vaca. It's either a pig, a cow, or is it a monkey? Because I couldn't remember. I got all those vocab words at the same time and I never learned to separate them. It's much easier if we just learn one in context and build upon it. In this story, as you can already tell, we are going to talk about a serpent, or el serpiente. Arbor. That one's kind of tricky to say. It means tree. Arbor. Fruta or fruto. Fruta. We'll also explore another adjective that comes in a couple forms. Bien, bueno, buena. All 3 of those words mean good or well. They're used in different contexts. However, if you misuse one, everyone understands what you're saying. Bien, bueno, buena. In fact, most Mexican individuals answer the phone saying, bueno. That simply means well, and it's letting people know I'm doing well. It's just a different way to answer the telephone. Mal is el opposite de bien. Mal. As you may could have told, I'm saying mal is the opposite of bien. It comes in a couple other forms also. Malo, mala. This means bad, poor. It also means sickly. Igual, equal, just like it sounds. And our verb that we will explore today, conocer. Conocer. It is a form of knowing, becoming familiar with. Typically a person or a place. Anything you could have that intimate relationship with. Being familiar with your hometown, your church facility, or knowing a person as you would have introduced yourself to them and formed a relationship. With all these words in mind, let's think of at least 5 or 6 of our last vocab words that are going to appear in this story. We have, again, we will be in Genesis. We'll look at jardín, which is the garden. Uno, 1. Eden, miedo, and ángeles, which is the name of the garden, Eden, miedo or fear, and ángeles, angels. Now, story time. La serpiente que miente. Génesis capítulo 3. En el jardín de Edén había muchos árboles. Dios le dijo a Adán y Eva, pueden comer la fruta de todos los árboles, excepto de uno. No comen nunca el fruto del árbol del conocimiento del bien y del mal. Pero el jardín también estaba la serpiente que miente. Un día la serpiente vio que Eva estaba cerca de este árbol, especialmente. Sigilosamente él susurró: así que Dios, verás, les dijo que no comieran el fruto de este árbol. La serpiente quería que Eva desobedeciera a Dios. Le dijo: tendrás que probar un poco de ese fruto sabroso. Si lo pruebas, serás como Dios. Podrás conocer la diferencia entre el bien y el mal. El fruto parecía sabroso. Eva recordó lo que Dios había dicho, pero igual comió del fruto. Además, él dio a probar un poco a Adán y él también lo comió. Mientras el sol se ponía, Adán y Eva escucharon a Dios, que andaba caminando por el jardín y los estaban buscando. Adán y Eva se conocieron entre los árboles. Tienen miedo. ¿Qué han hecho?, preguntó Dios. ¿Comieron del fruto del árbol prohibido? Sí, pero fue Eva la que me lo dio, dijo Adán. Sí, pero porque la serpiente me engañó, dijo Eva. Por causa de lo que has hecho, siempre te arrastras sobre tu vientre, dijo Dios a la serpiente. Y a Adán y Eva les dijo: y ustedes, como me desobedecieron, ya no vivirán más en el jardín. Adán y Eva tuvieron que irse del jardín. Dios puso ángeles y a una espada ardiente para custodiar la entrada. Adán y Eva nunca más podrían entrar en el jardín. Well, that was our first story. Quite lengthy, but I hope you heard the repetitive vocabulary words that you've learned in our previous 3 lessons. Now we'll move on to our second group of vocab for this lesson, and we'll look at our second story. Now, here's a minor disclaimer. I don't look at these as just stories, but I use that simply because that's how they're commonly referred to in the English language. In our second story, we will be in Lucas, capítulo 2. Those are the words we'll review. We'll hear names like Jesus, Cesar, Maria, Jose, all names from our previous list. The vocab words that we'll learn today will be nacimiento, or birth, niño, child, baby, familia, todos, or toda, todo. Those are all familiar forms of the word all. Just depends on what they're being used for as an adjective. The noun they're modifying will determine whether it's masculine or feminine, which would be o or a on the end, or singular or plural. O, os, a, as. We'll also look at the verbs saber, which is the common kind of know, as in knowing information or being familiar with just items in context, and tener, to have. It's used a little more often than tener, or to have in English, but it's still used in very much a similar context. Bebe, just as like it sounds, baby. Llena simply means full. Lugar is a place. Con cariño, con cariño, con cariño. This is with love or with that sweetheartness. Cariño is an affectionate term used just like we would use sweetheart in English, perhaps a little bit more. And pequeño means small. Pequeña is the feminine version of that word. Did you get it all? Well, you may have to replay it a little bit. I'm trying not to make these too lengthy and make them enjoyable for those who are familiar. If you're not familiar, hey, pause, rewind, pull it back a little. We'll read our story. This is El Nacimiento del Niño Jesús in Lucas capítulo 2. So it's just the birth of baby Jesus. We will say, María amaba a José. María y José pensaban casarse pronto. José vivía en Nazaret, pero su familia era de Belén. Un nuevo emperador llamado el César ordenó que todas las personas fueran a su tierra de origen. Quería saber cuánta gente había en su reino. Así fue que María y José fueron a Belén. María estaba por tener al bebé. Cuando llegaron a Belén, buscaron un lugar seguro donde dormir, pero todas las posadas estaban llenas. Al final un hombre les pudo ayudar. Dijo, no me quedan cuartos, pero si los desean, pueden dormir en el establo. Pero preparar un lugar, José, cómodo, para que María pudiera descansar. Mientras estaban allí, nació el pequeño bebé, Jesús. María envolvió a Jesús en pañales y lo acostó con cariño en un pesebre. Guys, I know it sounds like I'm reading fast, but I'm reading at the pace you would read to a child, hopefully with an equivalent amount of inflection. But reading at that speed gets you accustomed to actually speaking with people and hearing and picking out of conversations. A lot of my friends have learned Spanish or thought they learned Spanish, spent years studying in school, and the first time someone walks up and says, hola, yo soy Jillian, yo quiero invitarte a mi iglesia, pero necesita que yo hablo contigo de, and they go on and on and on. It suddenly forms a language you've never heard before, and it sounds like these crazy aliens are speaking to you or something. I don't know. But I just want to encourage you, listen to it again. Just pick out words. Don't try to understand everything. Don't get caught up too much in the thought process. Just get a feeling for what's going on and what's being said. Buenas noches, ustedes. Quiero aprender más contigo. I want to learn more with you guys. Thanks so much.